Think of big American cruisers and one brand usually comes to mind. That's Harley-Davidson. The American motorcycle manufacturer has been synonymous with big cruisers for decades. But now an old competitor has re-emerged. This is the revived Indian Roadmaster. The Indian badge last appeared in Australian showrooms back in 1953, but has been revived in a big way under its ownership by American water sports giant Polaris. The Roadmaster tested here sits at the top of the 6-bike lineup, priced from $38,990. Now for that sort of money you actually get a really polished package. Indians actually played on the 50s theme to the extent where everything does feel like it's been hand finished. The seat itself looks like it's been hand stitched. It's really comfortable and soft on long trips, and it's also bolstered by a seat warmer and hand warmers as well. Similar story with the chrome work. There's lots and lots of chrome work, which means lots and lots of polishing, but it looks really well put together and it presents really well on the road as well. Impressively though, for an old bike, there's actually quite a lot of technology integrated into the package. They include AM and FM radio, Bluetooth and cruise control, seat and hand warmers, and ABS brakes. All of this technology is housed in quite a clever little LCD display here in the instrument cluster. It's easy to read. It's also accompanied by analog gauges for both the speedo, tacho and fuel gauge. Now that car-like amenity is really highlighted by the storage on this thing. You take a look around and there are umpteen different options. There's cubby holes right at the front of the bike, you've got huge panniers at the side and also a trunk in the rear. It's actually bigger than some sports cars. This is all bolstered as well by 12-volt outlets to charge your phone or even your sat-nav device. One of the things I really like about this bike though is this adjustable windscreen. Like the seat warmer and the hand warmers, it can be adjusted on the go, and basically in its most upward position it completely protects the rider at open speed. So that means you can sit back, listen to the radio and not be buffeted by winds as you cruise along at even 100 kilometres an hour. The real centrepiece of the Roadmaster is an 1811cc engine that is prime for cruising. It dishes out a maximum 138 Nm of torque, which is available from a lazy 3000 RPM. The inescapable thing about the Roadmaster is just its size. It's nearly 2.7 metres long and it weighs a tad over 400 kilograms on the road. And those things are really hard to escape when you first jump on it. In city traffic, you feel a little bit nervous almost as you sort of get your head around just the size, weight and overall width of this thing. And those factors are only exacerbated in daily traffic. There's a lot of heat coming from the exhaust system, especially the pipe on the right hand side. There's a guard there, but even so, it was hot enough to melt my pants during some wet weather riding. On top of that, the mirrors are quite small and the front forks really crash over inner city bumps, but the bike really makes sense on the open road. The 1811cc engine has a huge breadth of torque. It's effortless in every gear. You can easily lope along at either 50 or 60 kilometres an hour or really stretch out the legs at highway speeds. I've done quite a bit of highway riding on this thing and it just chews it up. That big screen that I mentioned before does a really good job of covering the entire rider and it all makes for a really nice riding experience. While it's certainly no sports bike, the Roadmaster feels competent through wider corners. It is poised and composed, turning in predictably and tracking confidently at all times. The riding position is spot on and the engine and transmission are really well mated to open road touring. The transmission especially is quite smooth in its shifts and there's a wide spread of ratios as well. It's quite flexible and works well with the engine. Now while it's quite competent in a touring capacity, the Indian isn't the best during really tight twisty sections of road. And I say that because its brakes are quite underwhelming. It does have the fitment of ABS and you've got two big discs on the front there, but even so, jam on the front, the rear and even call on engine braking and it's not the quickest machine to pull up. I think the main reason behind that is simply the 400 kilos of curb weight. It takes quite a lot of force to stop that in a hurry. The engine's biggest drawcard has to be that exhaust note. It's quite tasteful in that you can't hear it from miles away. But on the bike, it's a really nice thumping soundtrack and it's utterly addictive and I don't think it's something that you're going to get sick of straight away. So now the big question, is it better than a Harley-Davidson? Well, I think we can probably leave that verdict to another day, but even so, this machine will likely resonate with Harley buyers simply because it does have all the trinkets and it's a really nice, competent, open road machine. And for me personally, I don't think it really matters if it has a Harley badge on the tank or not.